Vested interest here in the booth, but we will keep all of the action coming your way as we do it from here on in the booth. And down at center court, Rich Pyle is our eyes and ears, getting the insights from both the fan zones and the players. And Kat, what do you think as we look ahead?
You know, we've got Tanner Halbert versus Justin Duke, Caleb Hurt and Sebastian Barger. They are definitely going to be barn burners. I can't wait to watch these semifinals and see how it goes down. The boys are pitching, and I can't wait.
It's really good stuff, and I'll tell you something, when $20,000 is on the line, the nerves start ramping up, and we are going to see some fantastic cornhole. We've been building up to this all weekend long here in Branson, Missouri. Thanks to everybody who's hosted the tournament, who's hosted the program. We will continue to work our way toward that big, giant check. And we're just trying to find that big bank where we can go check it. But we're not going to check it. Somebody else is going to cash it. Let's cover those semis after we take a break. And we'll be back.
Welcome back to Branson, Missouri. We are here in the semifinal matches of the ACO Pro Series Cornhole Championship, which means that we're down to 8 players out of a field of 16 of the best cornhole players in the world, and still have $20,000 in cold hard cash on the line. Let's take it up to Finn and Kat are going to tell you a little bit more about what to expect out of the semifinals.
All right, thanks so much, Rich. This is a game that we all know needs to be played with a bag in one hand and a cold drink in the other hand, and we are getting closer and closer, Kat, to fewer bags and more big cold drinks as we work our way through these semifinals.
We are down to 4 players. Blue bags are high seed, red bags are low seed. The seeds have changed because the blue bag didn't always win. It's going to be a nail biter for the rest of this day.
All right, so we worked our way through single elimination. We are going to remember that we are going to see the best cornhole in the world coming up here in just a few. We've got the updated brackets. We've got everything you need to know, but I don't know if you understand what it is you're about to see.
The stakes are high, and it's $20,000 on the line. I can't wait to see who takes home that check.
All right, so the brackets are going to be available throughout the rest of the afternoon, but we have to play through them. You don't just look at them, you play through them, and this is what we are about to do. We're going to get our first matchup ready to go as we continue firing towards the $20,000 grand prize here in the ACO Pro Series Cornhole Championships. Rich, we can't get it started without you at center court. Let's make this happen, brother.
Here we go. Semifinal matches. The first one, this is huge. They're all huge at this point. So we're going to start it off right here in the blue lane. Seated number 9 from Lakeland, Florida, the Kingslayer, Tanner Halbert. And in the red lane, seated number 12, from Lakeland, Tennessee, let's welcome Justin Duke. Justin!
That's all right.
Boom, let's do this.
Oh, it's official now. It is on. The semifinals we have worked our way through. I would say we have plowed through the field that started the day, and we are down to the best of the best. And I will tell you this, I don't know, I guess what Tanner pays extra to get the little lucky kiss. Well, in the booth with me, you may have recognized the similar last name. Tanner Halbert is going to be the possibly the $20,000 winner here, and that's going to make a nice down payment on a house for my co-host here, Kat Halbert. And I tell you, that's a nice tradition.
It very much is, Finn. It is what keeps us rolling throughout the day, especially with me being all the way up here in the booth, not being where I normally am. But if you jinx my man, like you've jinxed jinxed everybody else out here today. Me and you might have a problem.
All right, well, you and I may have to sit a little bit further apart than we have been up to this point, but I will tell you that ultimately with the American Cornhole organization, as we get ready to watch these guys finish up their down and back, this is like sitting on the deck and watching the tournament in the backyard, isn't it?
It is, especially considering that we do have decks in our backyard that we play cornhole on. So
That's a cool name.
All right, it's going to be up to Ryan LaBelle, our head official and whistleblower. He's giving the players their final instruction. It is time to get these semifinals underway. We can't get to the $20,000 until we get through these semis. Let's get down to the court and let's get it started.
as these first bags fly, we are going to remind you these are 2 out of 3 matches. So this is the first bag pitched in what could be a 3-game series here for this match.
Yep, best 2 out of 3. Tanner has that first bag and takes his second bag, airmails it in and drags the first bag in. A little bit of a tough play there for Justin, and boy, he went right for the killer shot there, the airmail try. He wants this first one over quickly.
He does, and whoever wins this first game is going to take that advantage. Winning 1-2 straight is a heck of a lot easier than having to go the back way.
I did this last game.
All right. You will hear the players speak to one another. We have them mic'd up, and we certainly expect that sportsmanship will rule the day, but frustration and $20,000 might change the vernacular on the court.
It does, and it definitely adds a lot on the line for these players. Not only are you talking about just winning a cornhole game, but you're talking about winning $20,000. That is life-changing for a lot of people, and as you said earlier, $20,000 for me means a new house.
Absolutely, but every one of these players is just as focused on that big check at the end of the big day as Tanner, but Tanner throws that fist pump out there and having a 5 spot already on the board. You got to figure he loves being able to add those 2. Now, as we've said prior, in matches we've watched over the years, no lead is safe, no matter how badly you want it to be.
No lead is ever safe, and they are definitely going to have to stay strong. If Tanner's going to keep this lead and keep Justin away from his pace of the game, and Tanner's going to try and control it, he's going to have to stay strong all the way through.
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned the down payment on a house for the 2 of you, but Justin has also said that $20,000. There's a nice airmail right over the top there. He's also said, anything you can do, I can do higher. Oh, and there's one that just did not pan out the way he had hoped and ended up giving a little favor there too. Tanner, all 4 underneath the board, just one misstep there from Justin, but he's also looking to put a down payment on a house with that $20,000 as well.
We've said it over and over again, $20,000 is a life-changing amount of money for these guys, and it is not to be taken lightly at all. You'll see everything these guys have put out on the court today, the emotion, the shots, it's insane.
Well, he doubled up that 5 spot there that he started with, so Tanner gets that first bag, both of these roll in, and I think it probably, because we are sitting at a point where angles are key, and the best angle and eyes and ears that we have are at center court with Rich Pyle. And Rich, I mean, these guys are firing fast like we've seen throughout the day.
Well, they started off with that look on their face. They were excited. It's the semifinals, and they had all that emotion pumped up inside of them. You see it in their face. They were firing left and right. I think they're starting to slow it down and realize.
All right, so Rich, again, as they continue forward, and we're looking at a 12-0 early lead here for Tanner. What's the feeling? You've seen Justin close up and up close, and he had to play earlier with one of the craziest fan zones with Randall Garrison's fan zone right in his ear. What's he got to do to lock this down?
I don't think that he's so much worried about the fan zone during this game. I think it's more about his opponent. I know that he was worried a little bit about having to go against Halbert, but it looks like he's starting to. There you go with that airman. It looks like he's starting to settle in a little bit more. I know he's down 12-0, but the game's never over.
Yeah, Justin's definitely looking like he's going to settle in a little bit. He's going to get his first point on the board there, making it
4.
Oh, it is going to be 4 red. Yeah, for a second there, I couldn't really see the angle there, and that's where you have the advantage on us there, Rich. But I'll tell you something. We've mentioned it before. No lead is ever safe, and as much as my co-host and partner up here doesn't want to admit it, she's the one that said it.
I did, and I won't take it back. I am Tanner's biggest supporter, and I always will be, but I tell him it is never over. The score does not matter at all until you hit 21. The only way you guarantee a win is at 21.
Boy, and he throws that flat bag, puts a blocker there in front of the bags that are pretty much straight up and to the right and unable to roll one up and over there. Rich, what are we looking at? It looks like everything's piled to the east side of the hole.
Tanner's got, Tanner's got 2 in, 1 in the blocker, and he played the smart play because Justin had 4 basically hanging in the hole. If he would have gone for anything else, he had a chance of giving up more points to Justin.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. If he had done that and given up more points, I would be pulling some fingernails out of my kneecap, to be honest with you.
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty interesting that he went for the flop shot and not for the airmail on that last shot.
Duke, Rich?
Yes, I'm sorry, Duke.
No, I just wanted to clarify that we were on the same page. Nerves are a little, racked at this point. But yes, I agree. I was very surprised he didn't go for the airmail, and that could be one of those things that you go for the flop. We had this conversation earlier. The flop is more guaranteed, even if you miss, to be on the board at least and not take that chance of giving up those more points.
Boy, and I will tell you that Tanner's last bag, that airmail looked like it was on the zip line out here at the Branson landing. There was no doubt where that was going, and 18-4, he is a commanding lead here in game 1 of what could be a 3-game match.
Game 1, right, that's important.
It is game 1, and Tanner is laser focused. He has really only looked like he's missed about 2 bags out of where he wanted them to be. You can't, people say they miss a bag. You can't. Sometimes you purposely put bags in places for a reason. Don't assume that if it doesn't go in the hole, it's a missed bag.
Yeah, this could be the end of game 1, and it's going to force Justin's hand to come hard and strong. Oh, and then he just hangs up, but I think that's going to be it. He's got a lot to make up for here in game number 2. Justin Duke just felt the power of the Kingslayer. All right, before they get into game 2, Rich, have at it.
Hey, listen, I know that is something that we normally don't do in between games, but I want to know what's going on in your head right now. Tough game. You started off slow, but it felt like you started to get a little bit momentum towards the end there. How are you feeling?
Just a little nervous. I mean, always the nerves getting to you, but, game 2, I'm ready to get back.
All right, let's get back to it then.
All right, game 2.
You going to change anything this game then from what you did the first game?
Nope. Going to keep hammering the bags in the hole. That's how I'm going to win.
Keep on hammering. Good luck, boys.
Good luck, dude. Are we start?
All right, they're going to get game number 2 underway. That was pretty quickly dispatched there from the Kingslayer, Tanner Halbert, the higher seed number 9 against Justin Duke, seed number 12. And what are the odds that it would be Lakeland versus Lakeland, one being Florida and one being Tennessee?
Right. One thing I will mention, just in case people were wondering, we've made the comment all day, blue bags, blue side, blue bags go first. In a 2 out of 3 series, Tanner will go first in the first game, which he did, but the second game does go to Justin. Now, if it was to go to a third game, it will go back to Tanner. But in a 2 out of 3 series, the alternate for the first bag goes to the other player.
Well, and that's a great point. And again, not the sort of rules that you follow when you're playing in the backyard, but I would tell you this. A lot of these players all started right where you've started. If you're watching and you think, one of these days I'd like to be on this center court, here's the great news. You can be, and we're going to have proof of that in our second semifinal game. We have a story you are not going to want to miss coming up after this set of games.
Every one of these players started in their backyard. Tanner practiced outside in Florida, which it rains a lot, and they used to throw under, over top of, this covered area. It was insane, but everyone has to start somewhere, and I would love to see some fresh meat on this stage.
Absolutely.
Come on, baby.
Oh, and there it is. He's able to get up and over and drag the bag with him. That is a massive momentum.
Can I give you a little bit of let's go, boy?
You're the only one that would be allowed to do so. 6-0 in game number 2. It is a best 2 of 3 to advance to the finals. Again, the American Cornhole Organization Pro Series of Cornhole Championships, $20,000 on the line. Tanner Halbert is 15 points away from getting into that final.
And this is not the first time Justin and Tanner have met this weekend. They actually played in our World Singles, which is how half of these guys got into this field. They met in the 4th place game, and Tanner beat Justin there. So I'm sure for Justin going in, okay, I lost to him yesterday. I really don't want to do it again. And Tanner is a player. When he finds that momentum and he is laser focused like that, you're going to have a hard time.
Well, and you just heard Justin say on the way down from that set of bags, he said, oh, here we go again. And that is not a mindset that's going to help him against the Kingslayer.
No, it's not, because you've got to Justin's got to find a way to get out of his head and get in front of the hole. That right there was a completely missed opportunity, because Tanner was off to the side enough that Justin could have squeaked right around him. Now he's set up Tanner a nice lane to go right through these 2 bags up here and to clean up. He went for it. He didn't clean up.
Maybe just a little more, what do they call that? Oomph?
Oomph.
Just a little more oomph.
A little more oomph. But Justin's got a good spot to drop that bag. Now, Tanner's got 2 opportunities here. He can try and slick side and push, which is probably not the good idea. Or go up like he always does.
What?
He's guaranteed at least 1 out of this situation.
Oh, the Postal Service called and said they want their airmail back. That is amazing. What a shot. So little bit of the hole exposed, and he took advantage of it. And if you are Justin, you've got to think, I got to get out of my own head. I don't think I can get into Tanner's head. I really don't. He has got it on lockdown. You
cannot worry about your opponent's mental stability. You have to worry about your physical ability and how you can put the bags in the hole. And if it's not working, figure out how to fix it, because if you can't fix it now, you're done.
Well, and Justin played lights out to get to this point, but right now it is a pretty dim scenario that is setting up for him.
Most definitely. Justin definitely worked his way here, for sure. He put up 2 heck of a matches. He blew out Jeremiah in round 1. He put up a massive fight against the businessman Randall Garrison in round 2. And he is really got to figure out how to get back to that if he's going to give Tanner a fight.
And we've talked about this throughout the course of the day, and the players have, filled out some questionnaires to give us a little bit of background on each. Certainly, I don't need any background on Tanner that you can't provide, but he did make an interesting note when we asked him, how much do you practice? He said, no, I don't practice much anymore. I'll play about a blind draw a week. Boy, I'll tell you what, nothing irritates the rest of the field more than reading that.
And the thing is he's not lying. We maybe play a blind draw once a week, and the only time Tanner practices in the backyard is when I say, hey, can we go practice?
Well, there you go. Well, the goose egg has been cracked for Justin Duke, putting a couple up on there. Lakeland, Tennessee is where he calls home. Lakeland, Florida is where you guys call home and where you'd like to call new home. Absolutely, with the $20,000 grand prize. That's what's on the line. The American Cornhole Organization Pro Series of Cornhole Championships underway. We are in the first of 2 semifinals. Tanner Halbert, the Kingslayer, has 1 of 3 games under his belt. If he wins this one, he moves on to the finals. If not, we're all squared back at 1. That was a fantastic shot. Rolled one up and then rolled one back.
Oh my, Justin tried to sneak right through there and he went right over to the side. If Tanner finishes up here, it looks so good. But again, we keep saying it over and over again, these bags are not gonna fall in the hole for them. They've gotta put them there.
Right, and the reason that is these sticky bags are sticky on one side, slick on the other. It is really technology pioneered by the ACO years ago when corn turned into synthetic pellets, and when these bags needed a little bit more strategic play opportunities than a stick side and a slick side, pioneered by the ACO. And with these OG bags, as we've been calling them, the old school bags that these guys were all handed when they showed up here, this is exactly what you're talking about. That's a great shot there to roll in right behind.
Great shots by both of them.
Oh, and how about that?
Justin does, he went for the same shot, and he just had a bad break. It didn't come on the side like that last one did. Tanner's going to get 2 more points out of it, making him 2 points away to play for that $20,000.
It's interesting how differently you say it during these games than you say it during the rest of the tournament. And we do have another great semifinal match coming up with Halbert, Sebastian Barger, but there's still work to do here. 19-2, no score is safe, but based on that first game, you got to feel like the advantage is absolutely, and certainly now with the Kingslayer.
I'm going to take a deep breath like Tanner just did, because all he has to do is finish up here.
Okay.
That was like perfect placement. For me,
You're not biased at all, though.
No. But that was also the perfect
Nicely
shot.
played. You can't even look. I think it's fascinating that you can't even look.
I'm trying to just stare at you and act like it's not happening.
It's easy to take a good long stare at me and just go completely blank.
Now, still, this is the deal. Justin has to nail an airmail and drag that bag because he has a bag off the back of the board. And it's over.
And that's going to do it. That is our first semifinal. Tanner Halbert, the Kingslayer, Lakeland, Florida's own, and the better half, perhaps, of my better half here in the booth. And he is finally showing that emotion that we know he has inside of him, hanging tight with his fan zone. Let's get to the center court and talk to Rich Pyle and get a little bit of early reaction after Tanner taking that first semifinal match.
Tanner, you did exactly what you said you were going to do. Bang the bags in the hole.
I did. Feeling real good right now. I'm confident that I'm going to give myself a real good chance to win that $20,000. Got myself to the finals, so obviously I gave myself a good chance. And I'm playing real good, so I feel like I got a good chance at winning.
Well, you keep on playing like that, and then you have a good chance at that $20,000 coming up in just a few minutes here, huh?
Yeah. Sebastian has been playing great, so I expect him to give Caleb a good game. Either way, whoever I play, it's going to be a great battle in the finals.
Doesn't matter to you who it is?
No, don't matter. I know either whoever I play, it's going to be a good game.
Good luck.
No,
Thank you.
I had to shoot just like I did the first game. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. Rich gets the very few words out of Tanner. I don't think anybody really hears him talk as much as you do, but we are going to be resetting for the second semifinal. These are going to be the players that are vying for 20 grand. They're going to walk out of here with the big check. Who's going to be facing the Kingslayer? Tanner Halbert in the finals of the American Cornhole Organization Pro Series of Cornhole Championships. 20 grand is on the line, and we have one more semifinal to get there. Kat, she's speechless waiting for that final. We're going to check on court with Rich Pyle.